What's going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Umineko When They Cry. Last time on, we finished up episode 6 with a fantastic last section of Erica's, wedding with Bador, and how eventually Beatrice came and broke up the festivities as she battled against Erica with a lot of trials and tribulations, and she managed to drive her into a corner like the old Beatrice, and from what we could tell, we never did see this on screen, but the chick Beatrice and the elder Beatrice became one as the quote-unquote original Beatrice we met once before that endlessly tormented poor Bador. We also saw the result of Shannon and Cannon's duel, which resulted in Cannon unfortunately dying, and Shannon being the one to live, allowing her love for George to continue on. After that, there was a little section that pretty much confirmed to me that Shannon is Beatrice, or that Beatrice is the perfect woman Bador would want. A tomboy woman that's kind of abusive with big, blonde hair and big boobs that, a 12-year-old Bador would want. And so Beatrice was created by Shannon's desire to satisfy Bador because Shannon could never become that type of woman for Bador. It was a very heartfelt section. I cried for a good 10 minutes because of that, because it's just when I came up with that theory of oh, Shannon's the culprit because of all this evidence and Cannon doesn't actually exist, and then that section came up, I'm it's a done deal. It's 100% in my mind, 100%, there's no other question about it. But anyway, besides that, when the perfect Beatrice came in to rescue Bador, she battled against Erica, asking her how exactly, how Cannon got outside of the room when Bador got out. And she pulled the ultimate trump card for Erica, that Cannon never existed. He has never existed. And so, as Erica is dying, her concept quite being a waste before her, she throws down one last red truth against Bador and Beatrice. That she is the 18th human on Wokojima. But they both retort with another red truth. That even with her included, there is still only 17 humans on Wokojima. Which once again proves to my point of Cannon being not real. Not real, but not existing. And god damn it, did my game crash. God damn it. As I was saying, time to get back on track, after that whole duel between the witches, we saw what happened after of, Beatrice and Bador having a happy ending. But our Miko and Angie wonders, why he doesn't come back home still. He's still stuck within this witch's box. He's still trapped on Wokojima. And asks, Featherwing about it. And, Featherwing doesn't really give her an answer. But she appreciates Angie's point of view, her reading of her story. And so she sends her on her way with Amakusa to Wokojima itself, and we got a little scene of Amakusa talking to Okonogi, and hinting towards some ulterior motives, unfortunately, which is not great. Also, we got 2 brand new openings, so probably going to have to close my eyes when we get to the opening of episode 7. Anyway, we got that, which maybe implies that Okonogi was planning or told Amakusa to kill Angie, because we did read at the end of episode 4 that Angie committed suicide, quote-unquote, which I didn't believe since, the growth she had throughout episode 4. So that's interesting to note. But after all that, Featherwing finally recruits Burncastle to become her new leader. And through this new retelling of the story, what Featherwing wants is the truth. And nothing but the truth. She wants answers, finally, after all this time. That's why she chooses Burncastle, since Burncastle values truth above all else. She does not care for love, she does not care for emotions. All she cares about is cold, hard facts. And so I'm very interested in seeing what Episode 7 has in store for us, with the point of view being from Burncastle, or the leader being Burncastle in that style. So maybe it's going to be a lot more grounded. I did read a comment that says, Episode 7 is very different from the others, and it is more a traditional murder mystery, alike Agatha Christie or Sherlock Holmes, which I'm very interested in seeing. So some comments I want to mention from last episode are exactly Ramet Delta didn't exactly cheat when she introduced, not Ramet Delta, Burncastle didn't exactly cheat by introducing Erica to the story, because the number of people would still remain the same. When Erica was introduced, she was introduced as the 18th person, even though it was mentioned multiple times beforehand there was only 17 people. Well, technically, it was 18 because Kenzo was dead, so 10, 17, but with the introduction of Erica, it turned back into 17 instead of 16. Whole bunch of that. Basically, Burncastle did not override the previous with truths. It's just actually quite cool to see. Another cool piece of foreshadowing was when the man in the mysterious guest room that we didn't know was Battleware at the time, when his finger gets bitten off, it's actually foreshadowing of Erica putting the ring on Battleware's finger, which I think is a pretty cool, actually, bit of foreshadowing that it's actually nice to get on rewatches, I guess you could say, or rereads and all of that. So I find that absolutely fascinating and just nice. It really goes to show you how thought out this story is, of how introducing Erica doesn't override the previous red truths about the finger being bitten off, foreshadows the wedding. Just really goes to show you how intricate this goddamn story is, with its many layers, I have to say this, many layers of story this one visual novel has. It is quite a lot. But one thing before we start up the episode is that multiple people wanted me to check out Erica's profile in episode 6. So let's go ahead and do that. Also, someone told me that my audio was a bit low, so I decided to turn down the background music just a little bit. Hopefully it should fix it, but I have a feeling that I really think it's just some of the music is just a bit louder than others, so it kind of overrides my voice. So hopefully my voice should be more clearer than previous episodes. So anyway, let's go over to Witch's side. Let's just execute Erica like I've always wanted to do. Where is she? There she is. Alright. Execute. Oh! Oh, I see. Oh, okay. She's just gone, isn't she? She's just utterly gone. Like she never existed in the first place. That's cool. That's really fucking cool. Well. Alright. Yeah, alright. So I guess Erica just doesn't exist anymore. I guess that makes sense. Because they were stating she was dying a conceptual death. Quite literally being erased. So, that's horrifying. But, Erica, I guess we're never going to see Erica again, which is... I can't believe I'm saying this, but kind of a shame. Because she was just a likable... She was such a good, hateable character. She was. Because that's the entire point of her character was... what she represented, what Erica represented, is truth by any means, or trying to find the truth by any means necessary. That's why why she called herself the intellectual rapist, because she wanted the truth no matter what. And I guess you could, from a meta perspective, you can see that as viewers who don't care about character relationships, who only care about what the mystery is. None of the, I guess, kind of caring, just whatever clues they can find in order to get to the main mystery of whatever story they're reading or watching. That's what I always thought Erica represented, was those types of viewers. That once you get to the heart of the mystery, if it doesn't satisfy you, you just quit the show or the movie or whatever. Pretty much check out of it. But yeah, enough talking. Let's get into episode 7. Episode 7, Requiem of the Golden Witch. Good morning. Today is the day of the funeral for the Golden Witch in her game. The days of the game have now ended, and fond memories are all that remain. Here, the cold, hard truth will be revealed. In the game, you'll meet its death. There is a bit of difficulty. Oh boy, here we go. So if this is going to be the death, what the hell is episode 8 going to be about? That's my curiosity. Ooh. Oh, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I wonder if this really is going to read like a typical murder mystery novel.
土は土に、灰は灰に、塵は塵に、幻は幻に、そして夢は夢に。夢とは寄せては返す波間のまさごに描くもの。それは波が寄せるたびに真っ白に戻ってしまう儚きもの。だから心なき人はそれを描くことを無駄なことだと嘲笑うだろう。しかしもう彼女の描いた夢を消す波は二度と訪れない。彼女が最後に描いた美しき夢はもう永遠に消えることはない。さあさあ思い浮かべてごらんなさい。それは暖かき春の日の柔らかき午後の日差しがそのまま陰ることを忘れたかのよう。それはとてもとても素敵なことなのだから。あなたの最後の夢の立ち会い人、プブリウス・ワルギリア・マロ。
Publius Virgilia Mario. Whoa, where the hell are we? The suspects were gathered in the room, and several inquisitors of heresy were reporting on the results of their investigation. Their uniforms closely resembled those of Ursine Genfalu, but they were slightly different. Also different were the badges signifying their department. Then came the sound of someone clapping their hands once. It was the head female inquisitor. She was announcing that all reasoning had been completed.
近景以上にて命名発覚。以上の推理からあなたのアリバイが存在しないことの証明を終えるものなり。
At the other end of her pointing finger was a quivering maid with frightened eyes. Oh my god. Her name was... No, that's not important. What matters now is that she could have entered the crow's room study where the victim was found whenever she pleased. And furthermore, that her claimed alibi from the time of the crime had been proven to contradict the facts. Shaking, the maid tried to continue in her illogical pleading, but all of her statements had already been seen through.
以上にてフーダニット、パウダニットの証明を 完了するものなり
Damn, we're just getting right into it.
あなたが犯人である事実を揺るがぬものと知りたまえそんなどうして私が敬愛する旦那様を殺さねばならないのですか動機がありません理由がありません
It's a different voice for sure.
誰がいかにして犯したかそれのみが立証できれば十分であると知りたまえ
Oh, one other thing I want to just ask. You guys can comment down below if I should or should not. I still want to read, and then there were none still. Because I kind of want to see the perspective of, like, from the perspective of reading and then there were none while still reading this story. Because I kind of want to, like, see if I gleaned anything from this story from reading and then there were none. You guys can tell me if, like, if it's too spoilery still, or maybe I can just go ahead and read it. Because I feel like it would give me more insight. The Inquisitor spoke coldly. Virgilia. After finishing her witch's prayer, Virgilia stepped back from the coffin, which lay on an altar bedecked with many beautiful roses. In her place, Bador moved to the front of the coffin, wearing his territory ward's cape. Though the cape was supposed to represent dignity and majesty, it somehow made Bador look smaller. Bador held a book with a majestic binding in his hand. It was a game record that had just been written. Or perhaps it was a tale, a game, or else a fragment. Written in it was the dream that would be more enjoyable for her than any other. Bador pressed it against his forehead and contemplated for some time. And waited gently in the coffin. It rested upon her chest. She looked like a little girl clutching her favorite stuffed animal as she drifted off to sleep.
これは俺からお前に捧げる唯一の物語だ。
This tale will be shut up with you in your coffin for all eternity. So no one will be able to read it except for you, there in your coffin.
猫箱に閉ざされた唯一不変不可侵の永遠の物語
The true tale.
だから誰にも物語を汚せない。否定できない。反論できない。俺とこいつだけの二人だけの唯一絶対の真実。
Whoa, the fuck? A man dashed through a town wrapped in twilight. The daytime hustle and bustle of this beautiful village, which combined the traditional with the orderly in this classical style of the last century, now seemed like a mere dream. The orange setting sun was already hidden behind the clock tower, and the narrow alleyway was rapidly descending into darkness. As the gas lights began to turn on, they only made the darkness of the twilight stand out all the more. The man sprinted. There was no time. He had to hurry. He had several experiments to do and things he had to check, and it all had taken longer than he expected. Who is this? In the mystery genre, the motive or the why done it is given the lowest priority. To have a murder, you need to have a culprit, and he needs to commit a crime. Motive isn't required for that, so it's usually the most ignored element. It's true. In fact, these days there are even some who call it unnecessary.
終わりだにこだけで犯人が決まっちまったらそりゃミステリーじゃん。プロパガンダだ。だから動機ってやつ心ってやつないがしろにしちゃいけない。
Goddamn right. Mysterious man. Meanwhile, can't believe we cut over to
私た
Victoria
ちは
in
彼女の
England.
最後の眠りがどれほど楽しいものであるかを知っています。だから何人たりとも彼女の眠りを妨げることはできないでしょう。楽しい夢に微笑むこの眠りを妨げられるものなどいるわけもないのですから。
I wonder if the mystery of this chapter is going to be who's in the coffin. How lost.
さあ、私たちはもう立ち去りましょう。私たちが賑やかにしていたら彼女の夢を眠りを覚ましてしまいますよ。
そうだな。寝ている子には毛布をかけて部屋を暗くして静かに立ち去るのが決まりってもんだ。
After looking at the coffin one last time, Virgilia turned around quietly. Bedouin did the same, but then he stopped and turned to face the rose-covered altar. Bedouin offered up his final words within his heart. As long as those words didn't leave his mouth, no one would be able to know what they were. However, those words of the heart caused Bador's expression to change several times. At first, he frowned sadly, then his face clouded with remorse, and then changed to a bitter, exasperated smile. It flashed through several varied expressions. Then, the final expression that crossed his face was surprisingly a gentle smile. Something rose to Bador's lips. However, he bit it back down. There could certainly be no words to describe the many feelings he kept in his chest. So, saying anything aloud would probably be crude. Bador understood this, and stopped himself from speaking once more with a wry smile. It's either Shannon or Beatrice in the coffin. Those are the only two I can think of.
ありがとう。
お礼を言われるようなことは何も。
あとを頼む。
After seeing Virgilia nod back at him, Bador turned away from the altar once more time, and left the chapel. Virgilia also disappeared, and with that all disturbances that might have interrupted her blissful sleep had vanished. And here comes the damn music. Meanwhile, the Inquisitors of Heresy listened with calm, no scornful gazes. They listened to the frantic babbling of the maid accused of murdering her master. However, nothing she said could bury the fault into her own alibi. They were all mere emotional arguments. I loved and respected the master so much, I had no motive for killing him. No matter how much she spoke, it only made her look more and more like the floundering true culprit struggling pathetically. The requirements for the whodunit and howdunit had been satisfied. As for the whydunit, the motive, the heart, no matter how much she spoke of gratitude for her master, who had graciously given her a job when she'd been left by the wayside after various misfortunes, it didn't help her case in the slightest in the mystery genre. Therefore, her motive didn't matter. All of that could be just squeezed out of the culprit afterwards. An Inquisitor of Heresy took out a roll of parchment and held it forth, cutting off the maid's sobs and protests.
あなたがいかにして犯行に及んだか、その告発は大本院で受理された。 あなたの逮捕を許可したことを知りたまえ。これがあなたの逮捕状なり。動機など不要。犯人の特定には一切不要のものと知りたまえ。
Alright.
その上で謹んで申し上げる。我らが SSVD は罪を認めぬ犯罪者に真実を告白させる強制的手段を持つと知りたまえ。
The SSVD.
我らの異端審問官が正義にて祝福された審問部にてあなたの死種を絞り上げて焼いて潰して引き伸ばして吊るし上げる。そこより赤き真実を絞り出してみせることを申し上げた
The red truth.
自白すらも不要。補佐官一同、そのメイドを逮捕したてまつれ。
私じゃないです。私は旦那様を殺したりなんかしません。
Oh shit. Whoa!
やめな。
I recognize this guy.
そのメイドは犯人じゃね
Ooh, shit, what is this music? A man kicked the door open, and the Inquisitors were all shocked at the sight of him. Also, I've seen this guy a couple of times, fan art or whatever. This guy looks like a fucking Trails character. I'll just be honest.
なぜあなたがここにいるものなの。この事件はもうあなたの担当ではないと知りたまえ。
え。うるせえ。アリバイがない奴を一人見つけたらそいつが犯人なのか。犯行には動機が、心がいらねえってのか。
Damn right.
犯行はな、人が犯すんだ。心がねえ事件なんて存在しねえ。心を無視した推理なんさ、俺は絶対に認めね
Yeah, he's got the right idea.
あなたの不愛ダニット至上主義の主張には辟易するものと知りたまえ。ホワイダニットなど無用。審問せばかようなもの容易に絞り出せるものなり。大法院もその女が犯人であることを認めたものなり。
大法院、そのメイド以外の全員にアリバイがあるならきっとそうなんだろうというお前の独りよがりを鵜呑みにしただけだ。他の被疑者のアリバイが崩れれば白紙に戻る。他の連中のアリバイが無様なもんじゃない。大広間の時計の音は正確に正午を刻んだが勝手口の犬は全員に吠えるのか。確かにお前はメイドのアリバイの偽証を崩した。それは見事なもんさ。だがそれで終わりなのか。メイドに犯行が可能なのか。それを行う動機はあるのか。
It's almost as if it's interrogating a different character from another murder mystery, you know? Because it's obviously the maid, because well, that's the convention. Huh?
他の人間のアリバイは完璧なのか。他にもアリバイを偽証している人間がいる。それを探すことを怠るな。犠牲者に怨恨、金銭関係でトラブル。動機を捨てるな。心を捨てるな。動機なんて後付けでどうでもいいなんて、そんな乾ききったミステリーごっこは卒業しちまいな。
メイドが犯人でないなら、なぜに彼女はアリバイを偽証するものなりや。そしてそれを問うことも茶番。審問し赤き真実を絞り出し、犯行時刻の全てを赤き地で署名させるだけで良いものと知りたまえ。
ああ、そうだったな。お得意の拷問で全てを神の目線から客観的に赤裸々に絞り出せばいいさ。でもな、言っておく。心のねえミステリーと推理のやり方はな、俺が絶対に認めない。
すでに本事件は本館に継承されたるものなり、ここに命令書もあるものなり。さあ補佐官一同、構うことはなしと知りたまえ。そのメイドの逮捕を命じるものなりや。
When she gave this order, her subordinates hesitated, looking back and forth between their superior and that man.
させねえ。本当の犯人は他にいる。動機から推理可能だ。アリバイトリックなんざ古典通り。心を 忘れるんじゃね
心など不要なり。犯行可能な疑わしき人物を導き出し、信問して赤き真実を絞り出せばいい。万一犯人でなかったなら、別の疑わしい容疑者を審問にかければいいだけなりや。
Oh, just going by process of elimination, huh?
そんなのは推理じ
退きたまえ。その女を逮捕するものなりや。そのメイドが犯人であると知りたまえ。
使用人が犯人であることを禁ず。
The words of power blasted away the aides trying to arrest the maid.
バンダイン20作第11作。
Oh, great. Now we have Van Dyne.
このメイドを拷問したかったら、第二夫人とその愛人のアリバイをもう一度洗いな。
Wait, I think I heard about Van Dyne while I was looking up Knox's rules as well.
その二人には犯行時刻の明白なアリバイが。
Hell, I'm pretty sure I know about those rules a lot better than Knox's rules, because I think that was the first one they did look up when it was first mentioned.
あの程度でアリバイかい。ボンクラのお前に分かるように説明してた。時間がいくらあっても足りねえ。めんどくせえ。首席を名乗りたかったら、その程度の捜査と推理を見せてみた。それまでこのメイドへの逮捕状は俺が預かるぞ。
ならあなたにそのメイドが犯行を犯さなかったことが証明できるなりや。犯行時刻に彼女が台所を離れていたことは明らかと知りたまえ。彼女は犯行時刻にどこで何を。その女にも本官にもあなたにも誰にも証明は不可能なりや。なればこそ審問の拷問具で赤き真実を絞り出すほかなきなり。
真犯人からは血ヘドでも真実でも好きなだけ絞り出してやる。だが真犯人じゃない人間はいかなる審問も拷問も許さない。
だからこそあなたは甘いと批判されるものなり。疑わしきは全て審問。それが我ら異端審問官の魔女裁判であると知りたまえ。
Well, I mean, that's why it's called witch trials.
そうだね。俺たちは異端審問官。邪悪な魔女を撃つ、それが商売さ。だが万一にも市民を傷つけてはならない。
Have you heard of the fucking Salem? Did not go well.
疑ってはならない。人間は誰しも自分だけの真実を持つ。それは罪を犯した時にのみ暴かれ、俺たちにはそれを暴く資格が与えられる。だがな、ねえんだよ。
何が。
罪なき人間の罪なき真実を暴く資格なんざ、たとえ神様にだって与えられちゃいねえんだよ。
Damn. The maid finally realized that he was trying to protect her.
どちら様か存じませんが、ありがとうございます。私本当に犯人じゃないんです。
んなことは知ってる。お前の彼氏は全てを投げ出してお前のためにアリバイを証言する。感謝してくれ。あの若造は名誉も肩書きもお前に比べたら大したもんじゃねえと言いやがったぜ。
そんなことをしたらあの人は。
それには及ばねえ。恋人たちの姫事を暴くのは三流雑誌の仕事だ。ミステリーじゃねえ。俺は心のない推理は絶対に許さない。
Then, for the first time, the man's sullen expression relaxed, and he patted the maid's head lovingly.
彼氏と幸せになりやがる。だが勤務中に相引きするのはあまり褒められない。時々にしとくんだ。
ありがとうございます。
These words were heard only by the two of them. The man had word of her innocence, which could only be proven by exposing the secrets of a pair of young lovers. He had rushed about in a search of a solution, resentful of the arrogance of those trying to expose this by forcible means.
推理は犯人を作ることで、その過程で罪なき人々の心の真実を踏みにじることでも心が大事なんだ。探偵気取るな。心を忘れるんだね。そいつを忘れたら俺たちはただの知的蹂躙者だ。
True.
それを忘れるな。
When the man spoke, the Inquisitors no longer had any way to argue back. This man's name is Will, and yet that's not what everyone used to call him. Ooh. Head Inquisitor of Heresy of the SSVD, the 8th District Residence Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven. One hell of a title. Damn, this really is like Warhammer 40k. But Will, eh? Okay. Where is it? Oh, that's interesting. We got none of the main characters, but it doesn't seem like that. Witch of Miracles and Miko to the Witch of Fidegori. In the 7th game, she conducts Beato's funeral, met with defeat in the previous game, and came out the bruiser. She has proclaimed that she will tear out the guts of Beato's game to satisfy her irritation. And yet... Oh, maybe it wasn't character, it was probably tips, wasn't it? Yes, here we go. SSVD, SS Van Dyne. Hey, okay. One of the Residence Enforcement Agencies supervised by the Great Court of Heaven. Its area of jurisdiction is the 8th District. The SSVD has a long history, even by the standard of the other enforcement agencies, and is known for its strictness and fundamentalism. Many say that the agency is at odds with the times, but it is also hardly praised by some for still continuing to preserve the basis of the spirit of law. It is traditional for the agency's chief inquisitor to inherit the name Right. Oh, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. Wizard hunting Right. Okay, now do I have a character? Yeah, I just had to click one more. Willard H. Wright. Okay. A member of the SSVD, the 8th District Representative Enforcement Agency of the Great Court of Heaven, Inquisitor, ranked Archbishop First Class. Goes by the name Right of the 20 Wages, or Wizard Hunting Right. He was an ace inquisitor in his youth, and was feared for being both ruthless and merciless in his work. However, at some point there was a change in his work attitude, and his previously flashy escapees became a thing of the past. His current style is often fickle, alternating between laziness and obsessive bursts of energy regarding mere trifles. But now everyone has given up trying to understand him. He has already submitted his resignation and had it accepted. Only a few days remain before he will lose the name of Right. Interesting, so he's resigned from the thing, and it seemed like something changed within his heart to care more about motive than about just getting to the truth of mysteries. Okay.
これがお前らへの最後の引き継ぎだ。魔術師狩りのライトの名を継ぐなら忘れるな。絶対だ。
Holy shit. Ah, damn. That's a good intro. Also, I got probably close my eyes. But interesting. Interesting. So we're in a, not what I was expecting. I was not expecting this. That's for damn sure. We're in this, like, meta type of dimension in which mysteries are revealed before Inquisitors. But Willard, huh? Willard S. Wright. So the question is, what exactly changed within him to care more about motive than about the truth? Or, yeah, more care about the why doesn't, instead of about the who, how. It's quite interesting. Damn, this music is pretty good. No, I still don't want to look at visuals because, you know, anime openings. God damn. I can't believe this game has like, what, 4 openings? By this point? Yeah, we had the first one, which was pretty much the question arcs. Then we had Erica's opening. Then we have this opening, and there's like one more. So I'm pretty sure there's 4 openings. Which is crazy to think about. So Willard S. Wright. Wright has to be a fucking reference to Phoenix Wright. There's no way in hell it isn't. I mean, come on. Come on. If you're dealing with mysteries and shit. God, I want them to release a new Ace Attorney game so I can fucking let's play it. I want to so fucking badly. I want to play those games. Oh, well, this ain't the mansion. Oh, it's chapel. Quietly. Quietly. The rain fell down. The rain of sadness stripped down the outer walls of the chapel, quietly washing away the dust of the world of the living. The chapel doors were open. During a wedding, only those with invitations are allowed inside. However, during a funeral, the doors are open to all who remembered the deceased. So this must be a funeral. The shadow holding an umbrella approached the chapel. It was Will. Maybe this tale was the thing that changed him. Or maybe it was something else. A reception desk had been set up at the chapel's entrance. As the shadow approached, Cannon, who had been sitting at his desk, stood up and welcomed him with a bow.
こちらが受付でございます。弔問の皆様にはご褒美を賜っております。ご記帳をお願いいたします。
悪いな。弔問じゃねえ。待ち合わせだ。
You came to a funeral to meet someone. A dubious expression rose to Cannon's face. Will pulled an envelope from his pocket and showed him the sender's name.
失礼いたしました。どうぞお入りを。
すまねえな。せめてそいつをもらえるか。
ありがとうございます。きっとお喜びになられると思います。
Cannon handed him one of a set of golden roses, which were being handed out to all the mourners. Will took it, solemnly bowed his head, and entered the chapel. Inside the chapel, several people who appeared to be the family of the deceased were gathered. They all seemed to be recalling memories of the departed.
Beatrice! なぜに
お父様、どうかしっかり控え室の方で少し休みましょう。
私が殺したのよ。私が。
とんでもない。どうしてローザ様が殺したことになりましょ
う。お父さん、すごい泣きよね。
ベアトリーチェ
絶対お母様が亡くなった時より泣いてるわ。
こら、今はそんなこと言うときちゃうで。
Oh yeah, before I forget, there was another comment last episode about questioning where exactly the Beatrice of Konodoran came from, since from the little we saw of her, that she really didn't know who she was. All she knew was she had the name Beatrice, and that she was in her like early 20s, so where exactly did Kidzo get her from? Which is frankly a good question. I do have a thought as to where possibly that Beatrice came from. I might as well fucking say it. It could be possible that Beatrice was the daughter of This is fucked up. I didn't say this. But it could be possible, at least what I'm thinking, maybe because my brain is fucked up or whatever, is that Beatrice of Cordoran could have been the daughter of the previous Beatrice that Kenzo met back in the 50s. Did that when, where he got the gold from. That's my only thought about it. I don't have any evidence for it, but that's what I think, at least for right now. Anyway, some sobbed, unable to conceal their tears. Oh, I just figured out why it's the death of Beatrice. Because her identity was revealed. Yeah, that makes sense. And some spoke softly of old memories. They were all remembering the dead in their own way, it seemed. When Will approached the altar, several people turned around. Of course, none of them knew who Will was. Paying this no mind, Will walked in front of the casket on the altar, which seemed to be buried under golden roses. Inside the casket, there was no corpse. Instead, as though it lay there in place of a body, was a single thick book with an extravagant binding. The space all around it was filled with countless golden roses. There were words printed on the book's cover. To my beloved Beatrice, October 5th, 1986.
Miss Beatrice.
Like the story itself had been laid to rest.
ミセスだったら許しな。会ったことはねえ。だが、お悔やみ申し上げるぜ。
He took the rose he had received from the reception area and placed it in the casket. He had absolutely no connection to the woman called Beatrice. However, since he had come to visit her funeral, he had to show this minimal amount of respect for the dead. Okay, so who is he meeting up with? As part of this, Will prayed for the passage of the dead into the next world. What? Who?
はじめまして。
Huh? My child Leon? Now who the fuck are you? You are not Jessica. The first child of Klaus and Natsui. Jessica is their second child. Oh, okay. Was given the silver ring of the head successor and will succeed the position of family head upon turning 20. Mild, polite, and without any queer faults, except for being too young, this youth is more suitable to become the next head than any other. It is adored by Kenzo. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Is this the man from 19 years ago? That will succeed Kenzo? Okay. Okay, alright, okay.
後ろ宮リオンです。
リオン？誰だお前。
That's what I'm saying.
理科の理に魚するの魚でリオンと読みます。
Leon, okay.
ちょっと日本人っぽくない名前ですよね。
Good thing they just said I was just going to say Leon, okay. Will still stared at Leon's face, wearing a confused expression. He hadn't seemed particularly interested in Klaus, but Leon had apparently drawn some sort of reaction from him. Rather than interest, it was more as though he felt like something was out of place.
旦那様、奥様がそろそろと。
そうか。一同の諸君、ここで賑やかにしては個人もうるさがるだろう。控室の準備が整ったそうだ。場所を変えようではないか。
When Klaus called out to everyone, they began to move towards the chapel waiting room.
すまん。 リオンはしばしお客様のお相手を頼む。私はみんなを控室に案内する。
Now I'm trying to think of where exactly we are. My first guess is probably the Golden Land, where they all survived. They were all revived. That's my first guess, but who is Leon then?
はい、父さん。
It looked like a natural conversation with no awkwardness for either father or child.
親子なのか。
そうですが、何か。
後宮クラウスの子供はジェシカのはずだ。
ジェシカは妹です。お呼びする必要はありますか？
Okay.
いや、ない。
Apparently, some sort of game was already being played right off the bat. Scratching at his head with an irritated look on his face, Will glanced around.
失礼ですが、あなた様は個人とはどのようなご関係で？
全く何もねえ。迷惑な話さ。
ではあなたはどうしてこの葬儀に？
Also, I did see some fan art of Leon as well, but I did not fucking know that he was the child of Klaus and Natsui, which more than likely is the child from 19 years ago. Since Leon was a fairly mild person, Will's behavior was met with nothing more than a blank expression. A normal person would probably have put on a dubious look long before this. Will scratched his head again and yelled angrily at someone other than Leon.
来たぜ。そろそろ顔を出しやがれ。
Alright. The members of the Ushiro Mira family had already followed Klaus's instructions and moved to the waiting room. But now no one could be seen in this cold, vast chapel decorated with gold roses except for Will and Leon. So you've come.
よく来たわね。
Burn Castle.
異端審問官、魔術師狩りのライト。
The girl's voice came suddenly from behind the pair. When Leon turned around in surprise, a girl had appeared out of nowhere and drifted down on top of the altar. She wended softly in the sacred funeral altar as though this was perfectly normal, crushing the golden roses under her shoes. Of course, Leon didn't know this girl. Just why on earth were all of these people unrelated to the funeral, popping up one after another?
俺はもう引退だ。仕事なら新しいライトに頼みな。
いいえ、あなたに頼みたいのよ。この事件を、送った物語を読んでくれたかしら。
斜め読み程度にはな。
It was a bit fucking long.
あなたがどなたか存じませんが、そこから降りてください。そこは神聖な祭壇ですよ。
Snapping out of the daze, Leon told the girl to get down off the altar, but she ignored this completely. On top of that, Will kept on talking to the girl as though Leon wasn't even there.
リオンとか言ったな。こいつは何者だ。
その子が名乗った通り。
Yeah, but what exactly? Ushiro Mira Leon. There's no case of a person with that name appearing in any of the previous games.
お前の駒なのか。
いいえ、このゲーム版の正しく正当な駒、登場人物よ。
ゲームマスターはお前だ。なら、お前の駒だろ。
ベアとの猫箱よりもっと大きな猫箱で閉ざしただけ。
Of course.
リオンはその中で生まれ得る可能性を持つ一つの子。
そういうことか。
Okay.
結局、お前の駒というわけだ。
私が置いた駒という意味では正しい
ただし、エリカのような配下の駒ではない。
Just merely a leftover character, you could say.
エリカって誰？
Ouch.
エリカさん？
理解しようとする頭痛になる。
Leon didn't have a clue what they were talking about. However, though neither person was familiar, it seemed clear that they both knew a lot about the Ushio Mirror family.
私にはあなたたちが何の話をしているのかわかりません。とにかくそこのお嬢さん、その祭壇から降りてください。後ろ宮家次期当主としてお願い申し上げます。
Even Leon was suddenly forced to speak in a raised voice to that girl, who continued to chat while cautiously standing over the altar. However, the girl ignored this completely. On the other hand, Will did show a reaction.
次期当主はクラウスのはずだ。
父クラウスは私が20歳になるまでの間の当主代行です。
Wait. Are you 19 right now, Leon?
20歳になると同時に次期当主である私が当主を継承することになっています。
初耳だ。証拠はあるのか？
It seemed that even Leon was starting to get ticked off by now. And that calm expression appeared to be twitched slightly.
これは次期当主に許されている片翼の鷲の銀の指輪です。
Pretty sure it wasn't silver.
これで証拠になりますか？
銀の指輪？金の当主の指輪は何度も登場したが、次期当主の銀の指輪など初耳だ。
God damn it, Bernkastle. What other elements have you included in this in the goddamn penultimate episode?
クラウスもジェシカもそんなものを指に通していた記憶がね。
嬉しいわ。斜め読みにしてはちゃんと読んでくれてるじゃない。
魔女のよこす文章はどこにろくでもねえことが書いてあるか分かったもんじゃねえ。ましてやそれが元老院の大魔女とくりゃ。
It's always a damn catch.
あなた方は一体何者なんですか？失礼だが私には何の話をしているのかさっぱりわかりません。個人への献花がお済みでしたらどうぞお引き取りを。どうやらあなた方は当家がおもてなしすべき方々ではないようです。
Leon finally ran out of patience. These were the strictest words that this gentle kid could unleash. However, Will and the girl seemed not to care at all.
俺も来たくて来たわけじゃね
時間の無駄だから話を進めるわ。ライト、このゲームに挑みなさい。ゲームマスター、ベルンカステルの名においてこのゲームにあなたを招待してあげる。
I guess that's fair enough. Bernkastle does need an opponent, and well, Erica has been erased from existence, so.
え。お断りだ。
どうして？
俺はもう引退するみたい。推理もミステリーも知ったことか。
I'm more into puzzle games.
何をして余生を過ごすというの？魔術師狩りのライトが魔女狩りをやめた。
狐狩りでも潮干狩りでもするさ。俺がここに来たのはあんたと余生を語るためじゃない。
断るために来たと。
ご検察いただき光栄の極みと知りたまいなりや。
なら好きにしたらいいわ。どこへでも行けばいい。ただしここから立ち去れればの話だけれど。
Of course, there's the catch.
それで条件と報酬は？
In truth, Will had resigned himself in the beginning. He knew that he was incapable of refusing an invitation from the great Lady Bernkastle.
ベアトリーチェを殺したのは誰か。それが私のゲーム。
That's your game, huh?
報酬は私に対するその無礼な口の利き方を許すことと、この礼拝堂を立ち去る権
退屈を愛さない魔女は存在な言葉を愛すると聞いたぜ。
利。それは1000年を生き飽きたババア魔女の話よ。 私はまだまだ若いからあんたみたいな言葉遣いの男よ。どんな過酷な運命に閉じ込めてやろうかと無双することを愛するわ。
Of course.
それで敵は誰だ？
いないわ。妨害などするわけもない。このゲームをあなたが美しく詰めるところをただ私たちは感激したいだけ。仲間も用意する。それがそのリオンよ。
So we got ourselves our Sherlock and we got ourselves our Watson. After hearing that name spoken out of the blue, Leon frowned once more. Apparently, they were moving things along without Leon's knowledge or understanding, which the latter seemed to find truly irritating.
リオンは後ろ宮家の人間。後ろ宮家の誰とも面識のないあなたには心強い味方となってくれるでしょう。
You know what this is? Kind of like a typical murder mystery. We open up with a mysterious funeral. The detective, or protagonist, goes in and must create an ally within the family in order to piece together the murder of this person.
何の話か分かりかねますが、事情の分からない話には何もご協力はできかねますよ。
Yeah, you got 7 hours?
だそうだ。頼もしい限りだな。
私と我が主を楽しませなさい。魔術師狩りのライト。アウアウは行儀のいい感激者だけれど、私は退屈するとポップコーンを投げつけたりしちゃうかもね。
Will scratched his head with a displeased look on his face. He wasn't at all interested in getting involved, but by now he realized that he couldn't disobey Berncastle's orders. Then he approached the casket and pointed at its rose-filled insides.
ベアトリーチェ殺人事件の依頼とのことだが、
Yeah, there's no body.
バンダイン20世第7則死体なき事件である。
Hey, if there ain't no body, can you confirm it person's dead or not? Works with everything.
悪魔の証明
Of course.
棺にないだけじゃない。死体が存在しないことをあなたが証明できない限り、これは
第1則手がかりすべての揃わぬ事件を禁ずる。
安心なさい。すべてはここに揃っている。
Of course. Though there was no change to Willow's unsatisfied expression, he seemed to have understood the general pattern of this place. The simple fact that the mere Inquisitor of Heresy had been summoned by an uninhibited, fickle, cruel great witch of the Sunnant meant that he'd be treated as no more than a mere underling. All along he had possessed no way to refuse her.
空っぽの棺の主を殺したのは誰か。引き受けてやら。ただし、俺の流儀でやらせてもらう。
ご自由に。
And thus Berncastle selected her
まず最初に
protagonist.
することは、お前に現状を理解させることだな。
それをお願いできると、私もとても助かります。
Also, these two are quite literally meant for each other. I mean, blue, red, matching colors. I mean, it's the most obvious looking, like, fucking, you know, like, protagonist sidekick duo I've ever seen. Quite literally designed that way. Leon's expression seemed nonplussed, angry, and confused. All at the same time.
キラ、実際に見た方が早い。
いいでしょう。音もしましょうとも。
Will signaled with his chin for Leon to follow him and spun around. After snorting once in an unsatisfied manner, Leon followed him as though resigned to see Will's little show. As she watched them leave the chapel, Berncastle sneered soundly at them, a cold smile on her face.
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女。フェザリーヌなんとかアウアウローラの巫女にして奇跡の魔女。
ベルンカステルの名においてこのゲームの開始を宣言するわ。物語のタイトルは黄金の魔女のレクイエム。ベアとの葬儀にふさわしい物語を紡ぎなさい。さて、どんな腹渡を引きずり出してくれるやら。
It's always with spilling out guts, Castle. I know it happened to you a bunch of times back in Inazawa, but geez. She watched until the pair had left the chapel. Castle's form evaporated into the empty air just as she had arrived. All that remained was her unpleasant cackling. Alright, Kim, I mean, Watson, I mean, Rion, where shall we go? Outside it was still raining. When Ken saw the guest and his successor approaching the reception desk, he bowed deeply.
ご苦労様です。休んで結構ですので、外してもらえますか。
カノンです。かしこまりました。
Ken bowed deeply, then disappeared.
下々の名前まではいちいち覚えていないってか。
当家には若い使用人が大勢出入りしており、入れ替わりも頻繁ですので。さて、何をどう理解させてくれるのですか。あなた様は何者で、当家にどのようなご用がおありで。もちろん納得させてくれなくて構いません。このままお帰りいただければいいだけですので。
もう帰れねえのさ。俺も誰もな。
もういい加減にしてくれませんか。そのよくわからない煙に巻くような喋り方を。私にだって我慢の限界というものがあります。私では見送りにならないというなら、源氏と合田にお送りさせてもいいのですよ。
騒ぐな。こいつを見てろ。
見ればわかります。葬儀用のバラです。まさか手品でも見せてくれるおつもりで。
Will took one of the flower offerings and showed it to Leon, as though pointing out that there was no mechanisms or tricks. Then he slowly lifted it upwards.
見てろ。
ええ、見てますよ。後でも飛び出すんですか。それともクラッカーと万国旗にでも。
Will threw the rose. Anyone who would have expected it to fly in an arc, it had landed in some puddle. It didn't, which was why Rion had been struck dumb. The rose thrown by Will should only have flown in an arc. It should have sped on rapidly through the air. However, as soon as it passed out from the shade of the eaves and was about to reach the rain, it stopped right in midair, as though the air surrounding it had turned into syrup. That wasn't all. As it hung in midair, the rose's beautiful golden petals began to darken one after another. Then it became a black husk like burnt charcoal. And even after this happened, it remained suspended there in the air. Don't go outside. Leon had moved closer to try and touch the remains of the rose, which still hung in the air. Will had roughly blocked the way with his arm. It was as though he was telling Leon that leaving this place meant certain death. Ah, trapped in time. Of course.
それはどういうことですか。
めんどくせえから始める。つまりさっきの魔女のゲームに付き合わねえ限り誰もここから出られない。
なんですって。もう葬儀は終わっています。お屋敷やゲストハウスに戻りたい方々もいらっしゃるでしょう。
Don't worry, kid. It's a mystery genre. Of course we're stuck in one location.
こんなことは困ります。
恨むならあの魔女を恨む。 帰れなくていいね。
あの少女はあなたの友人でしょ。この変なのをやめさせてください。
Friend is quite the over.
あいつは今頃ポップコーンのバケツでも抱いて観客席に呼んだって現れない。
わけがわからない。
The short sentence described all of Leon's feelings at that moment. However, Leon had seen the rose willow fruit wither in an instant in the rainy darkness. Leon tried to do the same thing with another rose, but the effect was exactly the same. No one would want to use their own body to test this fearsome something that could make rose crumble instantly.
ここから解放される方法はただ一つ。ベルンカステルのゲームに付き合うことだ。
ベアトリーチェを殺したのは誰かでしたか。
そいつを調べろと仰せだ。お前がそれを聞かせてくれりゃ話は早い。気まぐれ魔女は大満足だ。お前は厄介払いができて、俺は帰ってダイヤモンドで。
Diana.
あまり待たせすぎると、またソファーをズタボロにしちまう。
ベアトリーチェを殺したのは誰か。葬儀を押しかけて遺族に聞くこととは思えません。
遺族に聞き込みはミステリーの基本だ。
I mean, come on.
諦める。ベアトリーチェってのは当主金蔵の愛人だってのは分かった。
あなたは本当に不思議な人だ。どうしてそこまで当家のことをご存知なのですか。
Don't worry about it.
やはり当家に縁のある方なのでは。
Will knew this much about the usual Mirror family because Bernkoso had shown him all of the fragments so far. Of course, he had no sort of connection with the usual Mirror family himself. The very point of his existence was on a different level.
しかし、ベアトリーチェはだいぶ昔に死んでいる。現時の証言では、屋敷の竣工前に死んでるってことになってるが、
Yeah.
死んだ理由は明らかじゃねえ。正直なところ、殺されたってのは初耳だ。
I guess he's going to deal with the original Beatrice, not the Beatrice in Corridora or the other Beatrice.
聞かせてくれ。
私の名は後宮リオンと申します。
ウィラードだ。ウィルでいい。
For the first time, Will introduced himself. Their mutual introduction was finally complete, and Leon was finally able to talk with him on an even footing. However, Leon took a deep breath and looked up at the sky, wearing a vague smile.
ウィルさん。
ウィルでいい。俺もリオンと言う。
Hey, I ain't fucking Japanese, man.
ウィル、正直なところ、私にもベアトリーチェという人物のことがよくわからないのです。
Of course.
なるほど。一応ゲームにはなるわ。
Can't give you an assistant that knows all of the fucking truths. If only Leon could have told him everything, revealing the truth without any effort from Will. Apparently things wouldn't be so easy after all.
ベアトリーチェの名と姿を後宮家に出入りする者で知らぬ者はないでしょう。
大広間にでかい肖像画が飾ってあるからな。肖像画の掲示は1984年の4月だ。
Goddamn 1984.
本当にあなたはどうしてそんなことまで。やれやれ、それを疑問に思うのももうやめることにします。どうせあなたにまた煙に巻かれるんですからね。
Leon was the successor and lived in the head household. That made conversation Kinzo an everyday occurrence. Because of this, Leon must have been used to chatting with people who were moody or hard to follow. With the understanding that getting stuck on the details would be nothing but a waste of time, the conversation naturally fell into a pattern as though Leon and this unknown man Will were longtime friends.
誰もがベアトリーチェを知っている。なのに誰も知らない。会ったことがあるのは当主金蔵だけだ。
当主様は 今日は特にお心が不安定でいらっしゃいます。
He always is.
タイミングを見て私が紹介しますので、なるべく慎んだ態度でお願いしますよ、ビルさん。
話が早いな。てっきりもっと非協力的かと思ってたぜ。
長年当主様のお相手をしていると、大抵の理不尽な事態とはある種の諦めを持って接することができるようになりますので。
Berncastle had set up a barrier cutting the chapel off from the rest of the world. To destroy that, they would have to find out who killed Beatrice. For Ryan, who had already experienced many of Kinzo's Ferrantines, understanding this much was more than enough. Alrighty then. We got ourselves our introduction, our new dual protagonist. Dual antagonist? Dual antagonist? No, there's another word for dual protagonist. I can't think of it right now. The usual mirror family members were relaxing here and there on the waiting room. The white buffet-style meal had been set up. It was a bit stale and not particularly appealing. Even so, those voracious kids seemed to find it intensely interesting. The cousins had set up camp around it with Maria at the center. The adult siblings had also formed a group in a different corner. Perhaps because of Kinzo's absence, everyone seemed to be a bit more relaxed.
リオ、どこへ行っていたのですか？そちらの方は。
母さん、お客様のお相手をしていました。ビル、こちらは母の夏日です。
紹介はいらねえ。ただ話を聞かせてくれりゃいい。
え、何かおっしゃいまして？
いいえ、何も。こちらはビルさん。個人に縁ある方だそうです。
With a smile, Leon casually smoothed over Will's words.
彼はベアトリーチェのことをより詳しく知りたがっています。母さんはベアトリーチェについては何かご存知ですか？
リオン、個人は当主様のかつての恩人です。そしてそれ以上でもそれ以下の関係でもありません。この葬には当主様が個人への生前の恩を報いるためのお式、そう聞いていますし、それ以外のことは何もありません。
Yeah, Natsu's not gonna shit talk Kinzo.
ありがとう、母さん。ウィル、母が知っていることはこれだけです。
Natsuri was eager to deny the scandal about Beatrice being Kinzo's mistress. However, she had also had enough sense to realize that the scandal was probably true. Picking up that Natsuri was in a bad mood and didn't want to talk about this anymore, Leon brought an end to that conversation before Will could say something rude again.
ウィル、この礼拝堂は当家の敷地内です。
当家のルールに従えってか。
当家の客人にふさわしい口調に改めていただく。話はすべて私を返していただく。
God, he really is like him.
その2つを守っていただけるようお願いいたします。
努力すら。
ベルーンカステルとかいう魔女に巻き込まれて大いに迷惑です。ですから私も協力はします。しかしあなたと私の立場は対等ですので、
育ちがいいだけのお坊ちゃんだと思ってたらなかなか言うな。
これでも後ろ宮家の未来を背負う覚悟はありますので。
わかった。仲良く事件を解決しようぜ。ワトソン君。
ご協力いただけて嬉しいです。愛病のダイアナを待たせないためにも。餌の時間は大丈夫ですか？
今日は山盛りにしてある。多少は大丈夫だ。よくダイアナが猫のことだと分かったな。
I didn't even realize that, but yeah, I should have probably guessed by tearing up the couch. But hey, Leon's got some thinking.
ソファーを控えて待ちわびる女性というのも少々個性的が過ぎると思いましたので。
Honestly, I would. You know what? With the amount of fucking crazy women we've seen in this game, I wouldn't be surprised.
それでまずは誰に話を？
誰でもいい。
Now time to choose which character I talk to first.
全員だ。あそこにいるのはクラウスの兄弟たちか。
It really just becomes like a point and click adventure game. I mean, that would be fucking cool as shit. Probably not, though.
向かって右からエヴァおばさん、秀吉おじさん。あちらがルドルフおじさん、キリエおばさん。そしてあちらが
後ろ宮ローザか。少女時代に森をさまよい、隠し館でベアトリーチェと名乗る女に遭遇した経験を持つ。
驚くまいとは思っていますが。
Maybe that's why she's saying that she was the one to kill her because, you know, went off the cliff and whatever.
本当にあなたは何でも知っている。
お前もその話は知っているのか。
今日彼女がそう話しているのを漏れ聞きました。
So when she died, she told the rest of the family?
辛そうな話でしたので聞こえないふりをしましたが。
優等生だな。紹介してくれ。話を聞きたい。
辛そうな話でしたので聞こえないふりをした優等生の私に。
Even this outrageous arrogance is nothing compared to Kenzo. After muttering this several times mentally, Leon shrugged and nodded at will.
あら、次期当主様じゃない。そちらの方は？
ああ、エヴァおばさん。こちらはウィルさん。個人のために献花に訪れてくれました。
んなことはどうでもいい。ベアトリーチェについて知って。
個人と後ろ宮家の関わりについてお話を聞きたいと言っています。
God damn it. I knew playing this along with Disco Elysium would draw connections, but seriously, it's just like fucking Kim and Harry's relationship. Leon spoke with a bright smile after pinching Will's butt. Will soundly protested as though saying, I saw that coming, but damn, that hurt. But Leon just played dumb and smiled at Ava like a model student.
後ろ宮家との関わりって言ってもね。
Probably mirrors the relationship between Watson and Sherlock Holmes, even though I've never read any of those stories, so can't really comment on that.
後ろ宮家とちゅうよりお父さんとの関わりっちゅうべきやろな。
All I know about Sherlock Holmes, at least the original incarnation, was that he loved cocaine. He loved his nose candy.
正直に言えばいいのさ。親父の愛人ってな。
愛人なんて言うとまた夏日姉さんに怒られるわよ。
Of course, Rudolph's the one to do it. He has like 15 mistresses.
恩人でしょ。
そうやな。
こんな具合ですが。
ローザ以外には興味ね。
ローザおばさんは確かベアトリーチェに会ったことがあると。
This whole time, Rose had been hanging her head. Leon's words made her shoulders quiver.
今日になって急に言い出したのよ。ちょっと信じがたい話だわ。 本当なのよ。ベアトリーチェは私が殺したの。
事件解決だな。
早計です。
Rosa broke down crying and laid her head on the table. Kyrie and Hideyoshi tried to console her.
六軒島はうっそうとした森に包まれてる。私たちが知っているのはそのうちのごくわずか。屋敷とバラ庭園、そして船着き場に向かうちょっとした林道だけ。
誰も知らない広大な森のどこかに親父が隠れ屋敷を作って愛人を住まわせてるんじゃないかって話は相当の昔からあったんだ。
ローダさんは多分その隠れ屋敷に偶然たどり着いてしまったっちゅうんやろな。
しかしどうしてローザおばさんがベアトリーチェを殺したなどと。
私が連れ出さなければ彼女は死なずに済んだわ。 彼女は無垢なひよこのような人だったわ。私が連れ出したから素直についてきた。
Like a chick.
何も疑わずに私の後をぴったりついてきて、私があんな足場の悪いところを歩かせてしまったから。
お前は崖から足を踏み外すことを期待してそこを歩かせた。
そんなつもりはなかった。ただ海が見たいと思って。歩きづらそうだったから下に降りれば少しは楽になるかなと思って。
それは殺したとは言わない。事故だ。
私が連れ出さなければ会わなかった事故よ。私のせいなの。それに私は血まみれの彼女を見捨てて逃げ帰ってしまった。
But yet you were still a young girl, Rosa.
あんたのせいじゃねえ。ベアトリーチェは海を一度も見たことがなかった。それをあんたが初めて見せたんだ。つい浮かれて一歩踏み外しちまったんだ。
どうしてあなたはそれを。
I know lots of things.
ベアトリーチェはあんたに感謝もさせれ恨んでるわけもね
え。そうかしら。本当にそうなのかしら。
柵の外の世界へ出たいと懇願したのは彼女だ。お前はその夢を束の間だけ叶えたんだ。俺がベアトリーチェならその束の間の時間をお前に感謝するだろう。なのにお前がいつまでも苦しんでると知って申し訳なく思うだろう。ベアトリーチェ、お前に感謝してる。海が青いってことを教えてくれたあんたをな。
See trees blue.
本当に
俺が保証する。
Will made that statement openly and boldly. It wasn't clear how Rosa took those words. However, it had apparently been enough to remind Rosa to take a handkerchief out of her pocket and wipe her eyes with it.
ありがとう。
その言葉はベアトリーチェが今もあんたにささやいてる。
Rosa wiped her eyes with a handkerchief one more time and hung her head. Also, I have to say, I don't think we've... I'm pretty sure so far every single track we've heard in this episode have been new. Maybe I missed one, maybe. But I swear, all these are brand new tracks, which is insane. It no longer looked like a fit of sobbing, but more as though she was speaking with the Beatrice of that day within her heart. One last time.
よくもそんな無責任な言葉を堂々とかけられるものです。
Well, it's consoled her, so.
責任がなけりゃ女を慰めることもできねえのか。
多少は見直しました。
How many years did it torment Rosa? Now, finally, she would probably be able to face that innocently smiling Beatrice who had seen the ocean for the first time in her life. She was the only one who could forgive for Rosa. Now the two of them could finally speak together.
どなたか存じないけれど、ありがとう。彼女は私を許してくれるかしら。
あんたは20年近くもそれを悩んだ。長すぎだ。彼女はもう勘弁しろと言ってな。
そうですよ、ローザーバさん。あなたが悲しめば悲しむほど、きっとベアドリーチェも悲しむでしょう。
あなたまでありがとう。私には私が許されるかどうかわからないけれど、彼女が許してくれるかどうか胸の中で問いかけてみることにするわ。二人ともありがとう。
That's nice.
恥ずかしいところを見せてごめんなさい。
綺麗事を言った下の根も乾かねえうちで恐縮だ。聞かせてほしい。当時のこと。
ウィルさん、
ありがとう。大丈夫よ。話すわ。誰にも話さずにずっと隠してきたことが私の一番の罪なのかもしれないから。
お前がベアトリーチェに出会ったのは正確にはいつ頃なのか。
From previous information, it would be 1964, if I remember correct. Upon hearing this question, Rosa closed her eyes widely, reaching back to a past she didn't want to remember.
20年ほど昔の話よ。いえ、19年前か18年前かもしれない。ごめんなさい。長いこと無理に忘れようとしてきたものだから、そこは少し忘れかけてるわ。
Yeah, don't worry, I have it in my notes.
1967年のことのはずだ。
67, yeah. Won't know if I guaranteed that with the red tree from the third game.
そうね。多分1967年頃だわ。あの時の出来事は写真のように鮮明に覚えてる。忘れられないの。
辛かったら無理に話す必要はありませんので。
写真のように鮮明に頼む。痛えぞリオ。
何のことやら。
Stop pitching my ass, damn it.
家庭教師が私の内緒話を母に告げ口していたのにショックを受けて、あの日私は自暴自棄になって森の奥へ奥へどこまでもかけていったの。
This tale had also been told in the previous fragments. Back when Rosa was just a kid, she went deep into the forest, found a hidden mansion, and met with a mysterious woman who called herself Beatrice.
ほんの少し分け入ることすら難しいあの深い森を。
自分でも驚くわ。あんなうっそうとした森をよくもあんなに深くまで。たくさんの梢や鋭い葉っぱで苛まれたわ。でもあの日の私は気にしなかった。森の奥へ消えることで永遠に消えてしまいたかったし、もし本当に森の奥に魔女の館があったなら、自分を幸せの国へ連れて行ってくれるか、カエルにでも変えて森の住人に変えてくれると思っていたから。
そしてあんたは隠し屋敷クアドリアンにたどり着き、そこでベアトリーチェと名乗る女と出会う。
ええ、あったわ。
そのベアトリーチェは肖像画のベアトリーチェと同一人物だった。
ええ、同一人物だったわ。美しい青い瞳、黄金の髪、黒いドレス、まさにあの肖像画通りの人物だった。
Or perhaps just Kenzo's idea of the woman of Beatrice he had met once before.
私はあの肖像画をお父様が掲げた時、私が忘れようとあがいた20年の月日はお父様にとっても同じ。
Or perhaps that portrait is just a painting of the corridor in Beatrice, not of the original.
あるいはそれ以上の日々であったと気づき、さらなる罪に怯えたわ。
それ本当にローザさんの出会ったベアトリーチェのことなのかしら。
Immediately Curie spoke to the question that Will had been thinking of. It would be too rash to assume that Beatrice Kenzo met and Rose met were the same person. The time and generation didn't match up. Yeah.
ベアトリーチェってのは戦後すぐの頃、親父に黄金を貸し付けた勇敢マダムのはずだぜ。
Yeah, the little scenes we saw between Kenzo and Beatrice, he was still old as shit.
お父さんはベアトリーチェの黄金を元手に後ろ宮家を復興して大金持ちになり、 そして六軒島を買い取り移住するんや。ローザさんが出会ったのはそれから10年以上も先の話になるで。
10トンの黄金を自在にできるご婦人が小娘程度のわけはない。ましてやローザが会った頃にはそれからさらに10年以上が経過してる。ローザ、あんたの会ったベアトリーチェはいくつくらいに見えたのよ。
当時の私よりは年上に見えたけれど、
You were like, what, 13,
そ
12?
れでも多分成人したかどうかという年に見えたわ。そう、まさに肖像画のベアトリーチェくらいの年齢よ。
中年あるいは壮年に見えたか。
Past her prime.
大人か子供かって言われたら明らかに子供に近い年齢だったわ。中年なんてとんでもない。
だからそれじゃおかしいのよ。あんたの会ったベアトリーチェとお父様に黄金を与えたベアトリーチェ、年齢が合わないのよ。
つまり別人ということだ。
Different woman.
よく似た同じ名前の別人。
I still think it's, you know, just some woman, possibly the daughter of the previous Beatrice, maybe. That Kinzo dressed up as Beatrice so he could have.
娘かもしれんな。親子ならよく似とったに違いない。
愛人の娘、ありえるわ。黄金を授けたベアトリーチェとの間にお父さんは隠し子を設けたとか。
それがローザの出会ったベアトリーチェ2世ってわけか。年齢的辻褄は合うな。
なるほど。つまりベアトリーチェと呼ばれる人物は2人いるわけですね。
Kinzo secretly raised his Beatrice's child in a hidden mansion. It made sense. Everyone nodded, agreeing. However, Will's expression was slightly unsatisfied and he scratched his head.
どうやらこの葬儀は隠したがゆえに弔うことができなかった2人のベアトリーチェのためのようですね。
ローザ、思い出したくねえだろう。事故の時の話を頼む。ベアトリーチェが転落した時、まだ息はあったのか。
いいえ、目を大きく見開いていた。頭から真っ逆さまに落ちて岩浜の岩の鋭い角に頭をぶつけて、それもあの高さから頭部は陥没して裂けてたわ。美しい黄金の髪がみるみるうちに赤黒くあふれる血に染められて、
一目見て死んだと確信できる外傷だったのか。
Hey, people will survive more possible odds.
割れた頭の中身を見た。それも握り拳次第に陥没して、あれを見て生きててほしいなんていくらなんでも虫が良すぎるわ。
ウィル、それ以上聞く必要はありますか？
事故時はもういい。それからあんたはどうした？
一目散に駆け出したわ。誰かを呼びに行くためなんて綺麗事でさえない。その場から一刻も早く逃げ出したかったの。錯乱状態になりながら、涙と荒い息でめちゃくちゃになりながら出たら、そしたらいつの間にか見知ったライオンの彫像に出くわしたわ。
So you got to the chapel first.
ああ、礼拝堂の前の？
いいね、裏のよ。とにかく私は屋敷に帰り着いた。誰にも話さない。話したくない。私は夜まで黙っていたわ。ひどい話よ。急いで誰かに話し、 救急箱を持って戻っていたら彼女を助けられたかもしれないのに。
So didn't tell anyone.
頭蓋骨陥没を救急箱の何で救えたってんだ。お前が殺したわけじゃない。もう気にするな。
それでローザおばさんはどうしたんですか？
ベッドで何度も寝返りを打ったわ。眠れなかった。深夜にこっそり源氏さんに電話して打ち明けたわ。
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, didn't she mention that she eventually got Genji to see the body?
源氏は何と言った？
自分に全て任せ、誰にもこのことは言わないようにと。後日きっとお父様に呼び出されてひどく叱られるだろうと数日の間怯えたわ。でもそれはなかった。源氏さんはいつものようにしずしずと仕事をする日々。お父様は相変わらずの書斎ごもりで何もわからない。
少なくとも私たちの耳には入らなかったわ。
源氏さんがうまく処理してくれたんだろうな。
表沙汰にできない子だったでしょうからね。
隠し子っちゅうたって血を分けた子供や。その葬式もまともにあげられんかったんなら、そらお父さんも心苦しかったやろな。
It would explain his descent into even more madness.
それがこの葬儀というわけですね。
それから
私が知っている話はこれで全てよ。
俺が知っている話もそれ
Yeah.
で全てだ。
これ以上私は何も隠していない。全て話した。誓うわ。
Maybe just do this authority check real quick, just in case. Will scratches his head, letting his gaze wander. It had taken Will a lot of determination to make this confession, but it was nothing particularly special for Will. Yeah. It had apparently been a little more than a review of information he already knew.
ありがとうローザおばさん。十分ですかウィル。これで話は。
Not really, but take what it can get.
十分だ。おさらいになった。
To Will, Rosa's memories gave only information that was already known. This was the first time he'd heard all that about her running back to the mansion after Beatrice fell to her death, yeah. But none of it was particularly surprising. Apparently, Rosa didn't know any more than this. If he wanted to learn more than what was in the fragments Castle gave him, he would need to find new testimony.
リオン、金蔵に俺が話を聞きたがってると伝えろ。
Either let's talk to Kenzo and Genji. I've been Genji. I feel like still Genji's the most mysterious character on the game board, at least, because we still don't know much about him, or hell, we don't even know why he is so indebted to Kenzo. We know they're friends, they're close allies, but why is that? We've never gotten that explanation from Genji. Or maybe it's just one of those things that's just never discussed. It's just up for interpretation. But who knows?
やはり本人に聞かなきゃ話は進まね
あなたはどちらへ？
え。頭を冷やして整理する。ついてくんな。
それは失礼。どうぞごゆっくり。
After giving an elegant bow, Lion made a face, tongue sticking out. Unless Will had eyes on the back of his head, he couldn't have seen this once, but... Will returned to the chapel by himself. The cold air and the monotonous sound of the rain were comforting.
どう？ゲームは。
I only got one testimony, come on. And he had come here for a little peace and quiet. As soon as he went out of sight with a wave, that voice rang out.
それは俺が聞くことだ。
It was as though she had been sitting there all along. Castle appeared on top of the altar once more. Beatrice's altar must have been extremely comfortable.
バトラは無能で私を何度もイラつかせたわ。それに比べあなたは有能だから見ていて安心できるわ。
後ろ宮バトラの時と違い、誰の妨害もね。
Yeah, Will's got all the information.
気楽なもんさ。
もうそういうゲームは終わったの。物語は二度楽しめるの。一度目はめでて、二度目は腹を引き裂いてね。
俺を肉屋だと思って
る。どう？ベアトリーチェ殺しの犯人は分かりそう？
ローザの告白は過去のかけらですでに知ってる。
Don't have much.
真新しい情報はない。進展はゼロだ。後ろ宮金蔵が本当のことを喋らない限り、これ以上の展開はね。まさか俺が金蔵を口説き落として真相を告白させるってのもゲームに含まれてるとは言い出さないだろうな。
そんなの退屈で死んでしまうわ。真実を語らぬ金蔵はそれ自体が城に守られたキングだけれど、あなたのゲームの障壁になってしまっては面白くない。
So you'll allow it?
拷問はやらねえ。俺の流儀だ。
分かってる。ゲームマスターとしてあんたに力を与えるわ。金蔵から真実を得られるようにね。
Still wearing shoes, Brancaster stepped into the casket, picked up one of the flowers that had been set as offerings, and blew hard as though scattering fluff from a dandelion. Then a single petal broke off and drifted down towards Will. No longer gold, but with the shine of a transparent crystal.
探偵キング。
その間抜けな能力。違うわ。それは観覧席への招待状。
Grandstands.
感激者権限か。それを元老院の許可なく与えることは禁じられてるはず。
私のゲーム版で誰が禁止すると？
Though the crystal flower petal danced in the wind, it wouldn't fly away until Will accepted it. He remembered how useless it was to argue with the witches and snatched it up. When he did, the petal flashed brightly for an instant, melted into Will's palm, and disappeared.
せいぜい私を楽しませなさい。ついでにあなたも楽しむといい。このベアトリーチェのゲーム版の腹渡がどうなってるか。あんたも興味があるでしょ？
ねえよ。
After Will's rude answer, Brancaster vanished into thin air, leaving behind an obnoxious laugh. Well then, after clicking his tongue, Will turned around unhappily. When he did, it felt as though his gaze had crossed that of a shadow standing right in front of him, near the door that led outside.
誰だ？
It's probably Leon.
失礼しました。
Never mind.
声が聞こえたので、どちら様かと思いまして。
シャノンか。今度はお前が受付をしているのか。
はい。カノン君と交代で受付を担当させていただいております。
That makes sense.
おう。カノンは？
先ほど、リオン様に休みを取るようご命令を賜りましたので、今は休んでおります。
お前もリオンに面識がないのか？
いえ、そんな。
後宮リオンは銀の指輪を許された次期当主だ。10年を務めたお前が名前を言いよどむのはおかしい。
I don't think it's the fact that she doesn't know Leon, but she's covering Cannon's disappearance.
それは
安心しな。リオンに面識がねえのは俺もだ。次期当主はクラウスのはず。子供もジェシカだけのはずだ。リオンなんてやつが後ろ宮家にいたかけらなんて一つもなかったはず。
When she realized that Will didn't recognize Leon either, Shannon relaxed. Ooh. Apparently she was a bit relieved to find that she wasn't going crazy by herself. Interesting. However, her expression quickly grew uncertain once more.
ここはどこなんでしょう。後ろ宮家の礼拝堂と思います。でもどことなく雰囲気が違います。それにリオン様という方がおられたなんて私全然知りませんでした。旦那様も奥様も親方様もお嬢様も親類の皆様も当たり前のようにお話をされています。
Interesting that you're the only one that doesn't know about Leon, Shannon.
何が何だか私わからなくて。
リオンはベルンカステルが置いた駒だ。奴を置くためにさらに大きな猫箱に変えたとも言っていた。それだけでなく、どうもここはいくつかのかけらが継ぎはぎして作られたまともじゃない世界らしい。
It's as though this is a special stage set up specifically for this game. I'm sure she's not in on my thoughts right now while I've been chomping down popcorn.
この世界のお前は何年ここに勤めている
？10年です。
I see. So it really is a special stage. After all, right when I entered chapel, I spotted Kenzo, and it's still up and alive. Since Shannon has been working here for 10 years, this world takes place in 1986, the stage of Beatrice's game. In that case, Kenzo shouldn't exist. However, he definitely was here a few minutes ago. Burn Castle promised that all of the information needed for reasoning was gathered here. She must have really packed it together to fit everything in. Let's see. So it really is a special stage.
お前はそれだけの長い間後ろ宮家に仕えた。まあベアトリーチェのどれだけ知っている。
親方様に深く愛された方くらいにしか。
それだけか。
あとその六軒島の夜の主と言われていて、
そうだ。夜な夜な屋敷を徘徊するとささやかれ、亡霊の名もまたベアトリーチェだ。
That brings the number of Beatrices to 3. The first is the Beatrice from more than 30 years ago, who is said to have given Kenzo the gold. The second is the Beatrice from 20 years ago, who met Rosa. The third is the Beatrice of the ghost stories, who is rumored to be the master of the night on Wokenjima.
フルドエリカの推理は正しいだろう。もともと六軒島に存在した悪霊の伝説、そこに金蔵のオカルト趣味と謎の女、ベアトリーチェの名前や肖像が
All came together to form that story.
碑文が次第に加味されていき、黄金の魔女伝説に統合された。そして夜の闇が魔女という人格を得た。それが3人目のベアトリーチェだ。
Oh, how things go bump in the night.
連続殺人犯のベールとなる。
Apparently she didn't understand the word of Will's said monologue. She didn't try to follow along, but she seemed to be having difficulty.
無理に理解するな。痛痛にならない。
申し訳ございません。
カノンもリオンのことを知らないのか？
はい。
Of course.
カノン君も私と同じでした。
Shannon and Canon, is it?
カノンも呼んで二人に話が聞きたい。
Yeah. When Will said these words, Shannon's face went blank and her eyes went wide.
申し訳ございません。受付を開けることは許されておりませんので、私には呼びに行くことができません。
Uh-huh, Shannon.
なら、誰か代わりを呼んできて受付を変わらせる。あんたとカノンと俺。リオンを知らない3人で一緒に話がしたい。
Three people.
受付は一人でいいと仰せつかっております。
二人いちゃいけねえとは言われてねえはずだ。
本日は人手が足りませんので、受付に二人も不要と仰せです。
誰がそう命じた？金蔵か？クラウスか？それともリオンか？確認する。
私の命令権者です。
Oh, fuck, we got the Higurashi eyes.
私は命令に逆らえません。
その命令権者は誰だ？そいつに交渉する。
交渉などできません。
Negotiate.
私たちの命令権者です。
ここへカノンを呼べ。俺は拷問も感激も綺麗だ。
Slowly, Will pulled his right hand out of his pocket. When he slowly opened his fist, a small bright glow emanated from it. The flower petal given to him by Birdcastle had been growing sparkling mark on his hand. He held that hand out towards Shannon and slowly approached her.
カノンを呼べ。お前たちに確かめたいことがある。
お呼びできません。それでもなお、それをご希望ですか？
Oh boy, she can't do it.
呼ばねえなら、お前を感激する。
どうしてもとおっしゃるのでしたら、特別にお呼びすることもできます。
There was some kind of incomprehensible tension between the two. Will stood there, his left hand still in his pocket and his right palm glowing and stretched out towards her. Shannon just stood there, her hand still folded politely in front of her. Her posture beautiful. And yet it felt oddly as though windswept drops of rain were sparkling and quacking in midair. Oh shit! Totally different font. Will's expression had remained unchanged all the time. Shannon's face was still kind and gentle, and yet the tension was as icy as a frozen rake. Beginners in chess will sometimes move their king to check without noticing it. One might mercilessly capture the king in this situation, but high-level players are supposed to calmly tell their opponent about their mistake. If you take one more step, you'll get captured. This was similar to that. Will you go for it, Will, or not? Let me see. So after all...
もう分かった。十分だ。二人で交代で受付を頼む。
Slowly, Will lowered his hand.
ご理解いただけまして助かります。
The glow slowly vanished from Will's palm. The completely incomprehensible tension melted away, like a sugar cube in water. However, nothing had changed since the beginning. Will's expression and Shen's expression were the same as they always had been.
おや、お帰りですか?
Footsteps approached them. It was Leon.
立ち話をしていただけだ。こいつに聞きたかったことがあったんだ。
それは何でしょう。そしてそれは得られましたか？
ああ。
お役に立てて光栄です。
それは残念。
The one who orders.
傘をお探しのようでしたら、すぐにでもご用意させましたのに。
Who would be the one who orders? The master? Maybe Grand Castle? Oh, maybe Kathleen.
金蔵に話はついたのか？
珍しい客人が挨拶をしたがっていると伝えました。お会いするそうです。
ベアトリーチェのことを聞きたいとは伝えたのか？
それはあなたの仕事でしょ？
With a slightly mischievous look, Ryan looked at Leon looked to turn away. I just want to say Ryan. Will scratched his head and shrugged, looking annoyed.
まあいいさ。こいつを試すだけの話だ。
Will opened his right hand and showed it to Leon. It was just a hand without anything remotely remarkable about it. Leon's head tilted to his side in bafflement at this strange gesture.
ご苦労様です。君の名前は確か
シャノンです。
そうだった。シャノンでしたね。引き続き受付をよろしく頼みます。肩を増やさないように。
ありがとうございます、リオン様。
Shannon bowed deeply in response to Leon's kind words. There was not even a trace of tension in her manner.
参りましょう、ビル。せっかく時間をいただけたのです。当主様の機嫌は秋の空より変わりやすいですよ。
いってらっしゃいませ。
行くか。
Oh, meeting with that old bastard, eh? Interesting. Well then. Usual mirror Kinsey.
ウィラードさんをお連れしました。
And I feel like this is a good stopping point right here. What an interesting chapter we have here. Yeah, very much more traditional mystery, huh? We have the protagonist and their assistant trapped within one location in order to figure out who killed Beatrice. And that whole scene with Shannon and Will just reinforces my fury even more. The one who orders. It's almost like... like, I would liken it to, like, her character was... It was something that her character couldn't do, was to get Canon out because, well, of my fury of them being the same. But yeah, I like this dynamic with Will and Leon. Very much of classical detective and assistant relationships, and I can't wait to see more. It's quite interesting that once again we get a brand new fucking protagonist in this episode, but they fit right in with the rest of the cast, you know. I'm curious to see more about them. And Will is a very interesting character. Like so far, he seems like the most viewer-like person. You know, like you quite literally, like it's almost as if someone was taken from the real world and put into this game. You know, he knows all of the information, he knows all of the previous fragments. There's quite literally nothing to him that he cannot see, and he's just here to reveal the truth by the orders of Castle. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. I'm still very curious as to what exactly in his past changed him to care more about the heart than about the how or the who done it. Just what is the motive? What is the heart between the story? I guess that's one way to look at it. Is, you know, the whole mystery genre. Mystery genre is all about specifically murder, right? It's always about who or how. You know, that third thing, the motive. It's always saved or less. It's always during the culprit's breakdown. You know, we see Danganronpa, Ace Attorney. It's always during the breakdown you see the full motive, right? It's always, you have to figure out the how they did it and who doesn't have the alibi. But Will cares about the heart, you know, the passion. And I could take this to not just for the mystery genre, to any genre, just for storytelling itself, to care more about the passion put into a story, the love put into a project, be it, you know, video games, be it books, whatever, any type of story. I guess in that respect, Will and I are kind of similar, because I care about the heart as well. I care about the passion of these wonderful stories, about these games. I mean, hell, that's why I let's play them. Especially these not mainstream games. I've reiterated this many fucking times, but it bears repeating. Of the passion put into these fantastic, interesting, unbelievable games. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed the type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. My time summary, put it down in the comments below. Check out Discord server hang out in, or my church. Check below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!